Okay folks, I'm making this video because some people have expressed interest in what I got going on back here. So let's take a look. This is the entrance to my food forest. I built this gate. I bought this cattle panel, and while I was moving it into the backyard, I thought, well heck, it'll make a great little arch right here. So I planted several things here. Right now I got hardy kiwi, and they're not thriving, but some of them are still alive, and we'll see how that goes. Over here I got a Nanking cherry. This is the start of winter and everything's kind of dormant. This is a golden silverberry. It has yet to fruit. This is a little vegetable garden I got going on with cabbage and broccoli and kale and chard. Here are my pawpaws and the shelter I built for them because they need shade when they're young. Got another vegetable bed going on in there. Got a couple of blackberries in self-watering containers. They're called grow buckets over there, and some other things. Here's my vegetable garden under a shade cloth that's coming to an end, that has to be prepped for winter. Here I got my boysenberry vine, which has done so well, gave me like 1,000 berries last year. Here I built a greenhouse that I can put up in the winter and tear down in the summer. It's got a heating system, and I put a Meyer lemon in here and a Satsuma mandarin, and just planted them in the summer, and they're doing quite well. I think it'll work out. Here's an Arctic frost Satsuma that died, and I guess a sour orange is growing from the rootstock, and who knows what'll happen with that one. Got my greenhouse here that I put up myself. Got solar powered fan going on. You can't cool enough in the summer, but in the spring I can start all kinds of plants in there. Here's the gummy berry. It produces a berry that's red and speckled and tastes like a lemon head candy, a gooey lemon head candy. This is my nectarine tree. It was kind of my pride and joy because it was the first tree that fruited. Produces wonderful nectarines, and I expect it's going to produce a lot more next year. Here I planted Homesteader's Kaleidoscope Kale, which hopefully gives me greens all winter long. Here I have a plum and another plum right here. I got a couple plums last year, and I'm really looking forward to them. Got remnants of pear tomatoes right here. This is a dwarf blackberry. A dwarf black mulberry, which has a really tart, tasty berry. Looking forward to that. Got some onions growing on here, and another dwarf black mulberry that I planted from a cutting, and it's growing. We'll see what it does next year. Here I have an asparagus patch. It's gone crazy. It's dying out for the winter, And I think next year it's gonna produce plenty of asparagus for me to eat. I have a couple fig trees here. They haven't really grown very well for me, but they're surviving. More kaleidoscope kale. Sorry for my shadow. Here I have my grape trellis. Grape tunnel, whatever you want to call it. Should have used 4x4s, but I used 2x4s and it's leaning. I had to support it with a 4x4 post. But the grapes are excellent. It's got a flame seedless. I got a, I'm not sure what the other two are called. Well, one's a Thompson seedless. The other one's a black grape, and they have yet to produce. We'll see how that goes. Back here, I got a crabapple tree I grew from seed and another one in a container because I needed a pollinator for this Honeycrisp apple. Now the Honeycrisp apple, the apples taste like honey and cinnamon. They're incredible. I can't say enough about them. Here I got a pomegranate tree just planted this year. It is Parfianca pomegranate. The seeds are soft and you can eat the whole inside of the pomegranate. Here I have a peach tree. Oh, the name escapes me. Like, I'm gonna misname a bunch of plants, I'm sure. But this is an Indian free peach. It's supposed to be one of the best tasting peaches in the world, and we'll probably find out next year. Here I have another Nanking cherry. It's doing the best for me out of 4 that I planted. Here I have an Alberta peach. I bought this baby Alberta peach from Walmart because this Alberta peach produced such amazing peaches that I had to get another. They're melt in your mouth peaches. They literally, you can't eat them inside. You have to eat them outside because they're actually dripping dripping away from the seed. This is Sweet Treat Pluery. It produces probably a fruit the size of a plum. It's a cross between a plum and a cherry, and it's supposed to be a real tasty fruit. This is American Wild Plum, if you can see it there. I'm not sure if you can. Here I have sorry for the shadow again, an autumn olive. Here I have a mulberry, which was going crazy. It was getting way too tall and shading out all the other plants, so I had to chop it. And I'm probably gonna let it grow until it gets crazy again. Probably chop it more and more down each year because it's just too big for the yard. Here I have a Spice Z Nectarplum. Another fruit I'm really looking forward to. It is a cross between a nectarine and a plum. An amazing fruit. Under this shade cover, I have a gooseberry, which I planted last year. The only gooseberry that's surviving now in my yard. So hoping it goes or grows. Here's an upright blackberry I have, and it's doing well. I'm expecting some berries next year. Here I have a plumcot, and I transplanted it because it was in between the 2 plums, and it was just growing too fast. But after I transplanted it, now it's growing slow. Go figure. Here's another smaller Nanking cherry. We'll see how it does. The Nanking cherry's like a really small cherry, but they're really tasty. Over here I have an Asian pear, and they're firm and they taste kind of like, they have a honey taste, kind of like an apple texture. Over here I have a Picotum. It's a cross between a peach, plum, and a apricot. Peach, plum, and apricot. It's growing slow and it gets attacked every year by aphids, so I'm not sure if it's ever gonna fruit. Over here I have a Comice pear, and I'm really looking forward to this pear. This is like the pear that they give everyone for Christmas in those Christmas packages. Here's a newly planted tree. This is a persimmon. I'm really looking forward to persimmons. I've never had one, so definitely want to plant fruit that I've never had before. Over here, shaded by my neighbor's trees, I put in my pineapple guavas, and I built this hinged hoop house to protect them from the cold winters we have here that they don't like. They can only survive down to 15 degrees, so I put in this heating lighting system to keep them warm during the winter. This is a hybrid silverberry. Have yet to taste that fruit too. Here I have a Columbia Star blackberry. These berries are big and sweet, and can't say enough about this plant. I planted 2 of them and they're growing well. It gave me about 20 blackberries last year, but next year there's going to be plenty to go around. Alright, that's coming to the end of my tour. I got probably quite a few things going on that I missed. I got carrots and parsnips and other stuff going on in here. Well, that's pretty much it for my attempt at a food forest that has brought me so much fulfillment in retirement. Thanks a lot, folks.